Well, Saturday afternoon football from Waco down on the banks of the Brazos. 5th-ranked Baylor, 9th-ranked TCU. The matchup of unbeatens at 3:30 Eastern on ABC or ESPN2. We start out the day with 10 unbeatens. We'll be down to at least 8. We're going to lose a couple today. This week's rankings brought to you by Allstate, the top 10. On first down, the deep ball incomplete, intended for Allison.
You talked about the Baylor game. That is one of those teams in Baylor that is creeping up. They're getting up in there, and a couple people have them in their top 4. To me, they haven't played anybody yet.
Yeah.
I don't respect them. I sat down, I studied them versus Texas last week. I didn't think they looked great. I didn't think they looked like a 51 points a game offense. I would like to see them this week versus TCU, and I need to see them versus quality opponents before I give them the respect of a top 4, top 5 ranking.
What can they do better today against TCU to impress you?
I need to see their pass game. I need to see their pass game. They didn't pass the ball very well last week.
Option O'Toole, Ferguson, they run it short side. And a 1-yard pickup. Paul's got more on the quarterback, Riley O'Toole.
O'Toole making plays with his feet, but trying to stretch this defense with his arm. Moments ago, he was huddled up with his wide receivers, and he told all of them, watch his hand signals. He's going to be changing plays at the line with his hands. What are we looking here for, Joey?
Just quick movements. These hand signals, a lot of people think that it's like baseball where they're tapping the elbow, the ear, the neck. It's not like it's just one quick hand movement that has to be caught by a receiver.
Again, there is no Dudek on the field here on 3rd down for Illinois. O'Toole drops it off to Ferguson, trying to get there on his own. Hurdles over a defender, but will come up a few yards short.
I like to play by O'Toole here. Finding a little time in the pocket, nobody's open, drop it down. And let's just see if one of your best playmakers, Ferguson, can get you a first down and at least put you in a position to have a decision to make. Now it's a 4th and short. And if you watched last week, Northwestern,
think about it, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Northwestern had a 4th and 3. They converted, ran it right between the tackles, converted versus Wisconsin. Later on in this drive, in the same drive, had a 4th and 4. Converted that, went down and put points on the board. If I'm Illinois, that's in my mind. We are in that territory where, you know, we don't want to punt it. You know, you're on your 36-yard line. That's a long field goal to make, especially in a windy place like Wisconsin.
Kick game is suspect at best.
Yeah, exactly. 4th and 2. Now you get into the and O'Toole making the play of dropping the ball down, taking care of it. Now gives him at least a chance to convert this.
Paul Carcaterra was telling us too, Joey, during that last time out, he's been keeping an eye on Dudek down on the sideline. There does not appear outwardly to be anything wrong with Mikey. He has been walking around the sideline, getting water. He's been up on the white of that sideline, watching his teammates. But a guy that had 8 catches for 200 yards, the best day for a receiver in the Big Ten this year, in the Purdue game last week, has just the 1 catch for 5 yards today, and he's spending a lot of time on the sideline.
And it could be a situation where Westland at quarterback felt more comfortable throwing the ball to Dudek. You bring O'Toole in, and he may not have that ability or the idea of leaning on Dudek as much, and he spreads the ball out more and goes other places. But Dudek has not been a factor at all here today.
4th and 2. Ferguson stuffed in the backfield, and he won't get there. The ball was down. It's been whistled dead. The charge coming right up the middle again. I think it was Vince Beagle. We've been calling his name a lot today. That got there first. Almost beat the handoff from O'Toole.
Yeah, Beagle's the outside linebacker. Just, you could see, I think it was a scheme. I think it was a game where they slanted, and they slanted right into the run play. There's Beagle, the linebacker, standing up and just shoots across the gap. That has to be a mistake. And looking at that play, O'Toole, I believe, should have kept this ball. He should have held on to this ball, and there's a wide open gap to get him in between, you know, Beagle and Caputo, the safety. But nice play by Beagle, giving credit for shutting down his 4th down.
Illinois turned it over a couple of times on downs last week in the Purdue loss. They turned it over here, and now Stavi is back in at quarterback, and this is Kenzel Doe with the long run up the sideline. Eaton Spence caught him to save the touchdown.
You bring Doe coming across this formation full steam ahead. Again, Arneson, the tight end, out there lead blocking, gets a nice block, and that's all Doe needs. With his speed and his explosiveness, one little crease and he's up the sideline.
34 yards on the play for Doe. 143 yards rushing so far for Wisconsin. Gordon, huge gaping hole for Melvin Gordon, who struts in for 6 more. Third touchdown run of the first half. Yard run for Gordon, who is now 4 shy of 100 yards on the day. Gaglianone finishes off a 28-second scoring drive. A couple of plays going 64 yards. Doe and Gordon with the 2 carries.
Freeze it here. When you watch the 2 safeties, here's one, and then there's Petty on the other side, and you let it roll. Barton gets picked off, and then that's just a bad angle by Petty. What they did so well when they were shutting down this run game is both safeties were inserting themselves into these holes and making plays versus the run game. In this situation, you can see once you pick one guy off in Barton, and Petty, the other safety, takes a bad angle, there's nothing you can do. Gordon's going to gash you, and he has the speed to go the distance. You can't make a mistake in the run game, or they will hurt you.
A 7-0 lead for Wisconsin, then Illinois scores 14 straight, and now the Badgers respond with back-to-back touchdowns.